Hi guys, Amy with Hair by Smash. Today I've got 4 perfect summer pigtails for you. They are cute, they are casual, they are simple, and you can rock them all summer long. There must be some kind of life. First up, these easy bubble pigtails. Make a rough part down the back of your head and tie your hair into an elastic. Then go a few inches down and tie another elastic. Then just start loosening up the hair between your 2 elastics to create your bubble. You can make this as big or as small as you want. Because I'm me, I obviously made it just about as big as it possibly could get. Then we're gonna loosen up the top because duh. And then doing this actually caused my bubbles to deflate a little, so I just fluffed them out a little bit to make sure they were nice and bubbly. And now we're going to dress up these pigtails just a little bit. I'm using this copper wire. I got it at Michael's. It bends really easily, so I just cut off a piece that's an inch or 2 long, wrap it around to cover up those elastics. And just as easy as that, you have taken this hairstyle to a whole new level with this metallic, edgy kind of glint. Next up, we're going to be doing these bubble fishtails, and we're going to use those colorful hair ties you got because you thought your cousin's kids would think they were fun, but then you never used them, so they've been sitting in the back of your bathroom drawer forever. This is obviously an optional step, but I think it's just kind of a fun way to add a little bit of extra flair to your hairstyle. Once you have your elastics in place, it's time to start the fishtail. So grab your hair in 2 sections, and you're going to slice off a tiny piece of hair from the outside of one section and transfer it to the other side. Then use your index finger, poke off a tiny slice, and cross it to the other side. So again, you're sectioning off a tiny piece from the outside of one section and crossing it to the other side. Then sectioning off a tiny piece from the outside of the other section and crossing it to the other side. This is everything you need to know about fishtailing. This is actually one of the easier braids because you only ever need to keep track of 2 pieces of hair at a time. I'm finishing this off with my same rainbow pattern. Pride Fest is coming up in my hometown, just saying. And then I'm loosening up the fishtail by just grabbing the individual pieces and tugging on them. This not only makes your braid look bigger, but gives it more of a casual boho feel. There must be some kind of And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I've got my elastics in place, I divide my hair into 2, and I'm taking turns crossing tiny sections of hair from the outside of one section to the other side. So I'm using my index finger and poking off a tiny little piece of hair, passing it to the other side, poking off a tiny piece of hair, passing it to the other side. I'm doing this one a little bit differently, and I'm taking really tiny sections. This will take longer. Fishtail braids are one of the more fiddly of the braids, but you can see what a huge difference it makes just by taking tiny pieces. The braid is so much more detailed. Here's a little trick for you. When you get to the end, tie your elastic an inch or 2 down from where the braid ends. You can see that it really just gives the braid more room to open up when you start tugging on it. And you can see these 2 braids next to each other, what a difference it makes, just the size of the sections you take. Next up, we are going criss to the cross with these pigtails. Starting with dividing your hair in 4 sections. So there's 1, there's 2, and your pigtails are 3 and 4. Now take one of your front sections and sweep it across the back of your head over the far pigtail. You're going to wrap it around and then tie it in place with an elastic. You can adjust the hair over the elastic after you've got it in place to hide that second elastic, so no one will see it and it will be our dirty little secret. Now, if you watched my running late ponytails tutorial, you will recognize this technique. I'm not showing it to you because it's something brand new I've never showed you before. I'm showing you how once you know a couple of tricks, a few little techniques, you can use them in different ways to create totally different hairstyles. Imagine what you could do with this. You could do a really cool half up maybe. Give that a try. Send me a picture. Let me see. Obviously, we have to loosen up the top. I pulled down some pieces around my face, gave him a little curl. Finishing touches can make all the difference, you guys. Last but not least, we are going boho AF with these all tied up pigtails. I'm using this suede cord, also got it at Michael's. May have done a little shopping spree, don't tell my husband. First, make sure the cord is about as long as your hair when it's doubled up, and then tie in 2 elastics just like we did with the bubble pigtails. Now start wrapping the cord around your hair and just keep wrapping all the way down until you get to the bottom elastic. And then just tie it in a knot. If you want, you can loosen up the hair in between the sections of cord. It creates this kind of irregular shape I think is really cool. And your first side is awesome. Do the same thing on the second side. These elastics are really just guides. If you want, you can remove them after you've got your cord tied, or if you were able to hide them well enough, you can leave them in. At any rate, if you want to talk about festival hairstyles, you have got to talk about this hairstyle. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys really loved this tutorial. If you're liking what I'm throwing out at you, you guys give me a follow on Instagram at HairBySmash and subscribe to me on YouTube. I'll see you soon with more hairstyles. I got some fun stuff coming up. Love you, mean it.